Hello, Tulsi Gabbard. There are a number of Marines involved with organized crimes, identity theft, fraud, slanders with overt criminal enterprises, and with Afghan leaders of kids. Not just Los Solitos teams, they have wire crime acts and methods in the Wethersfield town offices through time and conjunctions to it. Increasingly involved people with whiting forensics, changing and faking digital evidences, including with Facebook, with child abusers, leaders of kids, right through administrations. They've been used remotely, criminally, foreign influence, tactically, delusions, raw. They're showing fake transcripts and equivalent to presidents, including with Russians and Ukrainians involved with corners of streets, like corners of streets on a corner street on Highcrest Street, a principal upskirt nature campus. I recorded with more force with him and others before that, and with ones years apart involved with that. Also with ones with the name Kerr, involved planting evidence on all sides of my house, sequence shifts, pretending other in backgrounds, refusing to get on paper. A whole bunch of people tied to a Judge Smith, his family, people with the name Smith, a number of Smith families involved with identity theft, fraud, slanders, fake ties, fake natures of ties to me with their sources. People all along Route 175 from the founding locations and conjunctions to it and to that. And they still have other communicated for those places than our founders communicated to have communicated for themselves and about why and how they did not have free speech. No one even defends our presidents, let alone our founders, who are distinct from our presidents. They had to force the presidents. No one even allows people to be honest about George Washington, but they don't even realize too, because you guys are using criminally foreign influence, tactical delusions, raw, fact, trimming nature, quality aspects, and nature of premises treatments, of nature of debate contains what can't defend itself and afford to be, let alone to protract what our founders communicated for us with short words. They did not have free speech. In other words, and we're supposed to understand the only founder we know the name of is James Madison. And Native Americans, we don't know which, but we are all our founders too, but we don't know which ones agreed to help James Madison. But regardless, we're all in the same thing. We're all still abridged. We're supposed to get the Constitution unabridged, and why and how we have rights that are too numerous to have to list them, let alone three branches of government and the service tied to them using their differences, criminally foreign influence, tactically delusions wrought, pretending not to realize. You guys, interbranch and the exceptions tied to them too for the readings of statutes and precedents, criminally foreign influence. They have readings of statutes that give the benefit of the doubt based on someone's title or something like that at the last second, though. They're using that by just saying, doing whatever to force things before courts, criminally foreign influence, readings of statutes and precedents, exceptions too, with their readings of statute, or this would have been brought up. They have collusions clearer than day. One of the reasons the president keeps bringing up mental institutions and criminal enterprises is because that's where their criminally foreign influence, tactically delusions raw. But that's right where they have self-valued roles, because the best campuses and the worst campuses, you guys came through criminally foreign influence campuses. This would have been brought up, but you guys aren't following mandated law. I asked you guys since before the World Trade Center attack, not you guys personally, but your guys, your help. In other words, because you guys effective confessions request help for me from military families, intercities, foreign and domestic, as one's increasingly involved with border countries and with border states' family members. Time collusion /S. It shows what they're doing. In other words, a whole bunch of people with Middlesex Community College have an Eric Jensen with the state police too, and a Mike Roberts involved with people with intelligence families on my area and the streets parallel, involved with a former Mayor Gold too and other mayors, involved with identity theft, fraud, slanders, calling attacks on themselves and then just faking if they don't get a response, putting fake ties, fake natures of ties between people, sequence shifts, fake things in databases that make it look like that people are lying when they pretend they don't know people. And the courts with the news at the same time, preventing writing so they could stick fake things in databases and pretend fake things through the media. People with the name O'Neill increasingly involved with the World Trade Center attack. And that's reportedly the person that killed Osama bin Laden, who was reportedly involved, one of the names involved with it. So was former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, his co-defendants and their family members, also with a whole bunch of other countries, Afghan leaders and kids. There's even an officer Hunter involved with one of the Hartford courts, involved with a former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, and foreign and domestic military like Eric Burgess, Mark Violet, Justin Kovinskis. One's associated with the name DeMoro and Colello, involved with West Hartford locations. They said there's people with the name Dubé also with them, with police and courts, and with child abusers. They have medical and sexual offenders, a bunch of people at Hartford Hospital. They have a whole bunch of families and criminal enterprises run into high lie progressions. And they just fake transcripts, fake what's recorded, and forge names of other doctors and do that too. And they have patients and criminals that are all forced at the same time around people, not just in prisons, at triages, when people have to raise their voice, for example. And the police aren't going to arrest them because they know they're going to get caught. So they do this like that. The courts, too, their family members involved with this. Fake conversation. I never had a word of conversation with the Leahy family. A Leahy family, through administrations, has roles with Russians and Ukraine at corners of the streets. They don't know the extent of it. Rick Sam Faglione and a bunch of people all along Hangdog Lane, where it runs into Two-Rod Highway, and the conjunctions to that are and have been used remotely: criminally foreign influence, tactical delusions, raw. That's why they just ignore people. Right? Whole careers are kept criminally foreign influence, tactical delusions, raw. They know this. Get the Wethersfield police off the fake conversations with me and them out to paper, please. Tulsi Gabbard. They have Marines involved too. I don't even know all their names. They have Facebook involved too with this. Not just Marines.